Hey folks, I figured I would make another follow-up video. Today they released macOS 27 Beta 2, and with that said, they have known issues and fixes that they worked on. And with that said, I wanted to also showcase a new method for doing the Game Port Toolkit. So if you're a paying customer, you have the luxury of going to the Preview Center, which is located in the top right corner. From there, you do macOS downloads, and the June 16 one released has D3D Metal already installed. If you were trying to understand how to get this from the last video, I showcased downloading this. Now, even though macOS 27 was released, they didn't actually release a version 2, but hopefully Crossover stays up to date in doing that. So once you download the preview, if you don't have Steam installed, which might be some of you might be coming from already having a bottle, but either way, if you need Steam to play Windows games, you simply go to the home, hit install, and then create a bottle with Steam. And from there, once it downloads and updates, you could actually I like running with this command to get my FPS showing, so I can see the performance. But once it's up, you could kind of just showcase some of the games. So this, once you have the options running, will always be there. But as you can see from kind of, or implied, once it's installed, if you look at the top right, it's the Windows version of Steam instead of the Mac OS settings. And one game I've been playing with my friend is Marvel Rivals. So this could be a good time to actually try out Mac gaming, because it looks like Steam Machine just came out and it's $1,000, so might be dead on arrival. But what I'm showcasing here is actually Retina resolution of the M5 MacBook Air and performance. You can see it's not, in my opinion, that great. Can't even hit 30 frames per second, and we're actually running with the Game Porting Toolkit Beta 1. You'd see on the right with the metal HUD, trying to run Retina resolution, but severely anti-aliasing to kind of get some good frames, and it also even has frame generation on, which basically means it hooks into the DLSS, DLLs. So here, even on ultra performance mode. So some caveat with Mac OS gaming is that you can't, for some games, change the resolution. So sometimes I game with high resolution mode. In order to actually get this setting changed, you actually have to restart Steam, restart your bottle by simply kind of closing everything down, hitting quit where appropriately, force quitting if you need to, which could be done holding the Alt button. And then just click, and this dialog comes up saying it will disable high resolution mode, and you reload Steam with half resolution essentially. I'll say there are some caveats with macOS gaming. You saw their anti-cheat didn't load. I had to actually fully restart my computer. But now with high resolution mode turned off, you can see we still have the ultra performance anti-aliasing, but the scaling target resolution is half Retina resolution, which could help with some of the weaker machines such as the M5. I would fully expect if you're on the M5 Pro, M4 Pro, M3 Pro, any of those machines, you could definitely get 60 frames per second, as they have more CPU and GPU cores. And of course, everything can be tweaked here to your the lights or quality of what you're willing to input. But I could say you get pretty good 40 frames per second with the Game Port Toolkit, kind of improving some of the memory and stuff of that nature. So definitely finding that the M5 MacBook Air is capable as a fanless machine. Could actually play this, and I have played this with my friends. Now, there's one game I do typically play is Dota 2. I typically prefer to play on Windows, but from time to time, if I'm in a spot or was traveling, such as when I was in Italy, I did kind of use the MacBook for that. So the settings are all low, and basically just wanted to showcase how this is an easier way to get Game Port Toolkit. Is that essentially, if you're a paid customer of Crossovers, you could get the preview version where they patch the latest and greatest. Hope you guys enjoy this video. I did want to give a little shout out to my AI cohort now. Before I do that, I just wanted to talk about just in general what's exactly happening with Windows games played. You have a translation layer essentially in which macOS supported with Rosetta 2. We have Wine to get the Windows libraries, and then Crossovers built on top of that to enable Apple's own translation layer to get the games running. And just showcase from my previous video some of the things and FPS charts that I had. Now Spider-Man 2 does actually run if you run with MSync off, and then of course Dota 2, these were the settings that I got when testing it previously on the patched version. And of course now you have Crossovers preview to do the patch. So finally getting to my cohort, I want to showcase kind of the new methodologies and why people should consider, in my opinion, accelerating some of their workflows with AI. So I actually made a website for my friend, kind of took, I used Fable 5 back in the day, what he was recommended and actually go back to Elementor, which is a Divi WordPress plugin. All I have to say is like, not bad. He spent some time cycles with some marketing expert. One of his cousins helped him make the site. I mean, I think, in my opinion, sometimes WordPress is limited. I came from, taking over from one of my friends' website business before BlendLogic used to do full stack marketing. And in that, with any business, any tool, sometimes it's a race to the bottom in terms of pricing and stuff of that nature. During my time doing that stint, there were people selling, wireframes that I met for $10,000, which was essentially what I was charging for my full package. Now, with that said, I spent kind of the weekend reformatting my WordPress sites to deploy, just to see how it would, turn out. It seems pretty good from my perspective. Obviously, everyone should audit and review. In my case, I'm not that great at writing. I'm not even that great at making videos, and I do find that I kind of speak a lot, ramble a lot. I did find a workflow actually to get a timeline. Actually, I'll showcase this right now. One thing that I thought was kind of cool, I didn't actually think about this now, is AI could build out a lot of stuff. I actually made it to this XML export, which at least I'm trying to get more, stick to the script type analysis. So I've looked at other people's YouTubers, kind of ran AI through it of what I think works for them, or agreed on the content, such as having structure, not rambling too much. All this to say, this is a very long, like, quote unquote CTA call to action to see if people want to, essentially just low pressure, just join my Discord if you want to chat with me or interested in AI, maybe learning some of the tools. I'm trying to put some of the stuff on the blog, etc. Essentially, I try to stick to the script or more of the content. As you can see here, it built this out for me. But yeah, going to kind of my websites redeployed with basically a static HTML. It actually, in my opinion, reduces the vector of, possibly WordPress obviously has security in, but there's no, injection layer, no forms, no anything. And I thought it was cool. It was able to like kind of scrape my videos. Actually, I fed it a lot of the data. In this particular instance, I used Gemini 2.5 to pull on screen actually the FPS from my videos, and I tried to link it all. So all I'm saying here, guys, is there's a lot of acceleration we could do here. You can see here the Discord link if you want here, and also on the YouTube. I don't know if you guys think this is better or Elementor is better, but I think you could go easily from focusing at least on what your value is, which might be either testing and then accelerating. A lot of people think it's AI slop, but I just think, look, if you look at my old type of content, I'm trying to get better with obviously timelines. There's a lot of different ways we could parse this stuff. But yeah, that's kind of my call to action. So even if, I used to sell websites, $10,000 packages, I'll instead of racing to the bottom, one thing I learned in business is still sell for $10,000. But it's just, to me, a better product. Whether if they want to keep WordPress, you can make WordPress templates, stuff of that nature, use it as a marketing guide or inference and stuff like that. Anyways, that's the end. Hope you guys kind of enjoyed a little spiel on what I've been up to. Back from Italy, of course, traveling. So for those of you who keep up with my life and all that jazz, appreciate you guys in the comments. I'll see you guys in some of the next videos.